All right, it is Monday, October 10th, and week 5 of the NFL season is in the books. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are the worst team in football.
Dude, they are.
Yes, I've been waiting to put that in there for so long. I've been waiting to say that.
There is absolutely no question in my mind. Any team in the NFL could beat these guys.
It's not good right now.
Dude, they're bad.
Yeah, they're very, very, very bad. It's fun. It's so nice to see, really, because my childhood has been dominated by just Steeler fans thinking they're the gift to God's earth, and to see them down and out and not talking and staying off of Twitter, or if they're on Twitter, it's all negative. You really just can't ask for anything. It feels like Christmas time when you're, 8 years old again. So,
Okay.
but with that being said, let's get into some betting records. Douglas, you
I
didn't
think I
have
was what, 5? I didn't have many plays, but what, 4-2, I think?
4, 2, and
5-2?
1.
Nice, I'll take it.
You pushed on the Chargers.
I'll take it.
You have a chance to get to 5 and 2 though tonight. You have the last play of the weekend. It is the second half of the best bet.
Let me before you get into it, let me give you your props.
Thank you. I was going to congratulate myself. Yeah.
I would like to do that. The Giants, dude. I mean, you called that game basically to a T, actually. Yeah. You said that the Packers will get out to an early lead. They'll start to dwindle the lead a little bit and chip away at it. And something will happen in the last couple of minutes of the game, and they won't be able to recover. And that's what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. So props to you.
And I'm going to get into we'll get into that game once we get further down the card, but I'll just dive in betting records real fast. I went 6-5 on the weekend. Some of these favorites. Bucks +10. I mean -10. I thought that game was over.
Yep.
It was 21-0 at one point, right?
21-7. I don't know if it was 21-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I put that game away mentally. I just said, okay, that's a lock. Let's move on. Let's worry about other games. Next thing I know, it's 21-15.
Yeah.
And the Falcons probably should have had a drive at the end. I think Bucks are just one of those teams this year. They might just never cover a big spread.
Dude.
It might just never cover more than 4 points.
Well, I'm sure we'll get into this because I think the opening line when they come to Pittsburgh is 7.5, I think.
Wow.
It's one of the biggest underdogs the Steelers have been at Heinz Field.
Yeah. That's going to be the toughest defense.
It's 8 flat right now. I have it up here. It's 8 flat.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
Let's see here. That brings my season total to 31-20-1. Douglas, you're currently at 19-27-2, but you have a chance to get into the 20s tonight.
We're chipping.
If the Raiders cover 7.5, you will get there tonight. Dollar and a Dream, we each went 3 and 4. I hit Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Cooper Kupp. Douglas, you hit Olave, Cook, and Mostert. Let's get into some shout-outs. You know where I'm going with this one.
I'm going the same place you are, actually.
Shout out the Giants, baby. This team is so freaking scrappy. They just don't stop playing. Daniel Jones, hurt ankle, bloody hand, doesn't stop. And it's not so much I've been right about the Giants. I was right about I think after this year, and this was one of my bold predictions for the season, is that the Giants won't need to find another quarterback.
Yeah, I remember.
He's not lighting the world up, but when you have a guy like Barkley in the backfield, and you have a guy like Daboll who can create plays, you don't have to be Patrick Mahomes in that offense.
Yeah.
Just play within yourself. He's a good athlete. Coach is creative. He'll get him out in space. Let him see things while he's rolling out. Love the Giants right now. I think they're an underrated team. But this is one of those games. The Pack at least 3 times a year.
There you go. Sorry, your audio cut out a bit. Yeah. It's out completely.
The Packers do this one time a year. Not one time. Probably about 2, maybe 3 times a year, where they're running the ball just fine. They ran the ball for 4.7 yards a carry. But I think it's Rodgers doing it more than the floor. Rodgers threw the ball 40 times. There's no reason to throw the ball 40 times when you're running the ball at a 5-yard clip.
Well,
They
also
just
you're up
got
17-3,
yeah.
and so this is kind of something the Steelers do if they ever have a lead, which
Mm-hmm.
lately they haven't. Last year, this is what they did in years prior. When you get a lead, they don't play to build on it. They play just not to lose it, kind
Yeah.
of. I hate that. I cannot stand that. I think that's bad coaching. First and foremost, that is on the coach. Second, dude, if you can make it 48-3, I don't care about feelings getting hurt. Run the score up if you can keep scoring. Like, why are
Yeah.
you trying to play safe and not lose the game? You're Aaron Rodgers. Like, we're not
Yep.
talking about Blake Bortles or
Mm-hmm.
somebody.
And also you could tell that he was I don't know what the target share was. I guess I can go look at it. But throughout the game, it looked like he was literally just throwing to Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
It was, let's see here. Cobb had 13 targets and Lazard had 8. The next guy was Dubes with 5. So 21 targets of their 39 went to two guys. He was zoning in on 2 people, and the Giants started to realize that. That's why at the end of the game they had those 2 deflections, because they knew the ball was coming out quick to Cobb or Lazard.
Yep.
That's how they were able to get those 2 deflections. So I love this Giants team. I love Dayball. I mean, I hate that they're in the same division as the Cowboys, because I think they're going to be building and getting better year by year. But this Giants team is scrappy right now. They're the team. I'd probably say they're the team. They're not like, they don't have like, besides Barkley, really, they don't have like elite guys like a Tampa Bay or a Bills or an Eagles, but you just don't want to play them, because they will play to the last whistle. They are
gritty.
They are the grittiest team in the NFL, and you do not want to play them right now. Do you have anyone to shout out?
I have 2. One,
Okay.
I'm going to be following suit with you. Not same team, but same division. I'm going to head to the NFC East. I'm going to shout out Dallas. Not only did they cover the 5.5, which I did expect them to do, we both had that on our cards. Man, that front, hands down, is the best front in football, in my opinion. I think it's hands down the best pass rush for sure.
They
could stop the run. They could get to the quarterback. Parsons, if you need him to pick somebody up on a chip and they like flare out to the flat or something, he's there. He can do it all. He's the best defensive player in the world. He might not win the award because Bosa's having a really good year. I didn't realize the statistical aspect that Bosa's having.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about sole impact on a team, Parsons has more impact on a defense than any player playing the game right now. They are unbelievable defensively.
Not only is he probably the best defense player, I think he's just probably the best overall athlete in football.
He might be.
He
very well might be.
His quick twitch muscle is so ridiculous. How fast he can cut and turn at his. I mean, he's 240, 250 some pounds.
Yeah,
cutting on a dime.
What did he run in? What was his 40 time? Wasn't it like a 4.3 practically?
Yeah, it was somewhere 4.4s maybe. But
dude, that's a specimen.
Yeah, that's literally what he is. But like those guys, like you hear all the time, this guy's a freak, this guy's a freak. But they can't combine it with football talent.
Yep.
Like they might be able to do it if they're a receiver or if they're a running back, not really like an edge rusher.
Yeah.
If you hear about freaks playing edge rusher, not a lot of them come along and are elite in the NFL. So yeah, I'm just glad he's wearing a star on the side of his helmet.
Can't believe he fell that far, but props to you guys.
And who else had another good day for the Cowboys? Number 54, Sam Williams. Keep your eye on him.
You said that a while ago too. I remember.
He is not at like if Parsons is a 1% athlete in the NFL, Sam Williams is like a 4%. He's right up there.
He's right there too.
But he just has to fine tune some technical stuff to get better.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, he's showing some things. He's shown the ability to line up inside on guards. He will beat guards every play. He's too fast. If he just gets the technique and learns from Tank Lawrence and Parsons, I think he could be a top 20 edge rusher next year as probably a rotational guy. But yeah, just one quick comment on the Cowboys before we move on to the next game. The only thing that really you can do to beat them, one, you got to stay out of third and longs. If you can get to third and under 3, you'll do all right.
Yeah.
But the other thing is you got to run hurry up. You got to run like quick game, like keep the same personnel in the field, because the Cowboys love to rotate.
I've noticed that.
They keep their defensive line fresh always, and if you're constantly keeping the same 4 on the field and they can't rotate and get into new packages, it throws them off a lot. So that you kind of have to go at like 4 plays a clip, keeping the same personnel and then sub. But yeah, I think that's one way you beat them. But yeah, right now I'm loving what this front's doing.
They look great, dude. Also, in other news, I'm sure you saw Matt Roll got fired.
Yes, I was going to get into that with my Carolina one, but
just briefly, and I'll let you jump into it. Keep an eye on Dan Quinn. Keep an eye on Danny, boy, because what he's doing with that defense, someone's going to want him.
Moving on, was that both of your shout outs?
The other one was Arizona.
Go ahead. Go. Talk to him.
Just briefly, I think this team's better than people realize. Hollywood Brown playing like a top 10 receiver in football right now.
Yeah.
They get DeAndre Hopkins back after this week. That offensive production is going to start being there, and they're going to start putting up numbers. Whether their defense can stop them or not is the problem.
Yeah, Hollywood is playing like a number 1 receiver right now. The only thing I had to say, there was a play in that game. Obviously, I was rooting for the Cardinals to cover, but I was also rooting for them to maybe win outright and have Philly drop a game. But there was an RPO slant that he ran that he was wide open. If he catches it running full speed, they bit so hard on the run. If he catches it running full speed on that slant, he probably at least sets them up into field goal or red zone range. I think this was like somewhere in the third quarter. He just flat out dropped it.
Yeah,
and it was just such a
heartbreaker.
Like that could have flipped the game on its head if he scores or even gets them down inside the red zone. But no, yeah, he's been playing good, and that offense with Hopkins coming back, gonna get a lot better.
Yes, it is.
Moving on to the airing of grievances.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
How many do you have? 1 or do you have 2?
I have 2.
Okay, go ahead first. And I only have 1.
Oh boy.
Are we gonna get into the lures here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Hold on. Do we want to have a moment of silence for their 2022 playoff hopes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are the worst team in football. It's official. They are worse than the Texans. They're worse than Detroit. They're worse than the Colts.
Yep.
Worse than the Broncos.
Yep.
They are worse than all of these teams.
Yeah.
They have no identity. There's no identity on either side of the ball. None.
No.
There's no heart. This is going to be bad. Really bad.
For a long time.
They're
for the rest of the season,
for sure. They're not good at all. There's no energy, no motivation. Offensively, the only 2 guys that look like they wanted to be there yesterday, Pickett and Pickens. On defense, the only one guy I saw that looked like he wanted to be there was DeMarvin Leal, a 3rd-round rookie. He's the only one who looked like he wanted to try and play a little bit. They suck.
Did you see Ryan Clark on Get Up, by the way?
Yes, I did. And I loved it.
He just flat out said that they gave up.
Yeah, they did.
And after that, well, my dad, I was rooting for the Steelers because I had them in a teaser plus 23.5, which was my only loss, by the way. Which
it killed my bet as well.
You take a team at any NFL team at any matchup at plus 23.5, you feel fine about it.
I took them at 21.5, thinking they might lose by 21.
Yeah,
I cover the half point.
The opening kickoff where the Bills guy muffed the kick, tried to come out of the end zone, got tackled at the 1.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, this is good. You have the best offense or one of the best offenses in football backed up to start the game. This is how you pretty much had to start the game. They run 2 fine plays on defense, and then that Gabe Davis touchdown was just such a heartbreaker.
Why are they blitzing Minka, their best coverage safety, on 3rd and 10 while they're on the 2?
That's what I mean.
What's the point? Why are you doing that?
Play so soft that you give up 8 yards.
Yeah.
They're not going to go for it down there. It's not like you're late in a game situation where it's give them 8 yards all day long. Do not give them, any more than 10. That was
ridiculous. And instead of giving them 8, 9 even, they give them 98.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis had Randy Moss stats. He had 3 catches for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns at one point.
Gabe Davis, I could never get on the right side of Gabe Davis touchdowns because
It's
every time I
miserable.
bet him to score, he has like a 2-catch, 13-yard day. Every time I bet him not to, or I say he's not going to score, or I don't pick him, he just goes 3 touchdowns. Oh, I'll throw 200 yards. He just goes stupid every time I bet on him or I don't bet on him. So
we have multiple friends that thought the Steelers were going to win. I went through the schedule at the start of the year, each game, and said win, loss. Tell me what you think, and I gave the location, the time, etc. I'm the only one that took them under 500. I had them at 7-10. Everyone else had them at 9-8, up to 11-6. How good do I look right now? A 7-10 seems a stretch.
Can I guess who said 11-6?
Oh, I'm sure you'll guess it.
Is it who we're both thinking?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get it.
Is it a younger Santa Claus?
Yes.
Okay.
A younger Santa.
That's what I. That's all I want to know.
I asked him, and he said, "Yeah, it's 11 wins." I said, "So you got him winning 11
wins?
11." I said, "You got him winning 11 games." He said, "Maybe 10. Maybe they throw one of them away." I said, "Okay, yeah."
This is the same guy who probably had Trubisky a dark horse MVP, huh?
I think I've heard that comment possibly as well. I'm not joking.
So yeah, at 1-4 though. I mean, are we looking at mock drafts yet?
Yes, I'm right now. Do you realize I looked today? If the season ended today, the Steelers actually have the number 1 pick based off of like the numbers and everything.
I'm sure
they have the number 1 pick. They are literally the worst team in football through 5 weeks.
Will Anderson, baby.
I'd love that, but they're not going to tank. That's the problem. They're not going to.
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, if you want to take a bright light out of the game, and this is from a person who, I like Kenny Pickett, but I'm not rooting for the Steelers organization in any form or fashion. Kenny Pickett looked fine.
I thought so too.
Well, first of all, if you're a rookie quarterback making your first start and you got to throw the ball 52 times or whatever he did against a good defense, that's not a recipe.
Defense.
That's not a recipe to win the game.
No, it's not.
So the what he's put under right now with basically having no run game, and I'll tell you what, Claypool's done.
He's terrible.
Claypool, dude. I don't know. His next contract is going to be so small, and it's not going to be with Pittsburgh.
It better not be.
It's going to be like a Juju deal where it's like 1 year, $4 million,
and go earn it.
Yeah. So, but he doesn't look good right now. Johnson looks okay. Like you'd like to see him make a couple more of those like toe tap catches or spectacular catches. I know I didn't see it. I stepped away from the game for a minute, but he had my people I was watching the game with said that he had a really bad drop.
He had a tear. He dropped. I think he had 2 drops yesterday.
So
he has a drop problem. I mean, you understand that CeeDee Lamb's not the best with that either.
All
the problem is CeeDee Lamb can create so much more when he gets the ball than Deontay can.
All I'm going to say is Pickett stat lines aren't everything, not even close. But let's see here. Pickett threw 34 completions, 52 attempts for 327 yards and 1 interception. That stat line probably could have been a little better if his receivers made a couple more plays for him.
Oh, absolutely. And I saw a tweet. It's from Pro Football Focus today, 4 hours ago. Kenny Pickett has an 87.9 PFF grade against the blitz.
Yeah.
Second highest among quarterbacks blitzed at least 20 times. Think about this. He's played 6 quarters and he's been blitzed 20 times.
Yeah.
He's second. He's played 6 quarters and he's second in that rating. He's fine. The problem, I have 2 little issues with Pickett. I'm not going to say he played perfect because he didn't. First one, when he's rolling out of the pocket and he runs out of bounds and loses like 2 or 3 yards instead of throwing the ball away, don't do that. Just throw it away.
That's bad.
That'll come with time. He'll learn that. He's still trying to figure out a bunch of things. Second, the one thing that was relatively concerning to me is he didn't get any points on the board in garbage time. Not even a touchdown. Nothing. Yeah. That was the only concerning thing to me. If I had to rate his grade like a B minus, I'd give him like a B flat, B plus maybe. And that's the highest grade on the team. Everyone else is pits. I mean, we're talking Fs straight across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So
the other note from the game, and then we'll move on. How about DeMar Hamlin? Little pit on pit crime with a hit on Pickett. That was a little nuts.
Didn't like that.
Well, that you know what else something said, which is if you're going to look at the alarming part, if you want to be a negative Nancy, the fact that only James Daniels really did anything about that is not good.
No, it's not. Like
that, and I don't think it comes from a place of that they don't like Kenny. I think it comes from a place that we just don't want to be here anymore.
No, yeah, they gave up.
They gave up. So
I wasn't even as mad. I mean, when I saw that, I was pissed. Don't get me wrong. What made me more mad, honestly, and I know he's out of the pocket, so it's technically legal. Mm-hmm. That hit from Shaq Lawson where he went low, it looked bad. Dude, that could have ended the season. We're talking or worse. I mean, and I love that Kenny got up,
did something about it.
Did something about it because that dude would squash him like an ant, and I love that fire in him. So I'm all on board with Kenny.
I'll get to my Aaron Agreements. I only have one team, and that's Detroit. I said this team was a playoff team. I said that they could squeak into that 7th spot. The NFC, I didn't think was too deep this year, with the Saints being down. I didn't know the Giants were going to be quite this good. Out west, I said I didn't think I wasn't too high on the Rams. I wasn't too high on the Seahawks, but this Detroit team, Dan Campbell, like he's got to be like walking around that building looking for like a serial killer.
Do you think
he's in a horror movie right now?
Is it a Campbell problem? Like I love him.
This is what I'm saying. I think he is like you ever watch a horror movie when they're going around the house like this?
Yes.
That's what he's going around the Lions building like.
He's looking over his shoulder because he knows it's coming.
Any second he could get that call.
Yep.
My prediction is if they draft higher than 9th overall in the draft, if they're the bottom 8 team in the league, he's gone. Okay. They will get someone else in there because
it's a shame because I like the guy.
He seems like but I don't know if it's just all falling apart now because they're not winning, but he said they'd win, but it's just not good right now. Like you come in with number 1 offense, okay. He had a bad day. You got to put points up.
Yeah,
you can't get blanked.
Can't get goose egged.
But then your and if you have the number 1 or a top 5 offense, but you have the worst defense in the league, it's if both sides aren't playing well, you're never going to win a game. I don't care who you're playing. So, yeah, that and then, but what you mentioned earlier, I have 2 names written down as possible replacements for Campbell, and one is Dan Quinn. Which I'm worried about. But tell me if you think I'm wrong. And I know Quinn went to a Super Bowl in Atlanta. I understand, and I'm not saying he can't be a great head coach. Do you feel like there's coaches who are just better at being coordinators?
Yes. I was just going to say he's a better coordinator right now than he's ever been a head coach.
They're just made to be coordinators. I don't know what it is about them, but there's certain people made to be head coach. There's certain people made to be coordinators. I think the guy head coach in Dallas right now is a guy who's meant to be a coordinator, and he's just getting along because he's got 2 good coordinators under him.
Yeah.
But Quinn, I hope maybe he realizes that. I understand everyone wants to be the head honcho and make the final calls on everything and whatnot. I think what he's doing right now, and with the talent that he has in Parsons and Lawrence and Sam Williams, who he loved coming out of the draft, I know he loves Javon Curse in the back. I know he loves Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson. I know he loves Trevon Diggs. If he just stays and builds and builds and builds on this defense is so young, they can be great for a long, long time.
I heard a comparison today on, it was either First Take this morning or Get Up. They compared them to the 05 Ravens.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I heard that and my jaw dropped, and then they had the numbers, the stats side by side. They're almost identical. We're talking about an era where points were scored way less back then too.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, it's even more impressive now probably.
So that's all I'm hoping is Quinn maybe just to realize. I mean, I hope Jerry pays him because he should be if they play like this for what is it, 12 more weeks or 16 more, whatever it is. He needs to be the highest paid coordinator. I don't know if there's a max out on it, But
see, that's what I was going to say. They need to like regulate where you could pay coordinators almost as much as a coach just to do that job.
Yeah.
Because that will keep guys there to keep these teams going.
I would give him a blank check if you're Jerry Jones.
And just say, write down an amount.
He is the key. Yes. Dan Quinn right now is, I mean, I understand Parsons and whatnot and the players on the field. Dan Quinn's the key that unlocks it all.
Yep.
So go ahead and get to your last area of grievance.
It is also the Lions.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't even take them. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't touch that game. I don't think.
I'm airing it out because of the bet, but I'm just mad that they're making me look bad on my prediction because they're really sad right now.
I'm airing them out because New England's not a good football team.
Yeah.
That's 29 to nothing squat that they just lost. Damian Harris got hurt, which I do think Ramondre Stevenson is better than Harris. Personally, I do. He's very good. That being said, though, dude, you got to put up some type of points. Same thing I would say with Pittsburgh. You can't just show up to play these games, and when you go down a little bit, just say, well, catch our flight back home. Let's head home. It doesn't make any sense to me why they're doing that, and I'm not fond of anything that happened. The Lions look terrible. Goff came into this week as a top 5 quarterback number-based wise. He got me 6 fantasy points. 6. I had him in 3 leagues. I lost all 3 leagues. I lost all 3. Yeah. So also, you are muted, sir.
Sorry about that. I was trying to take a sip of water. I thought I muted it.
But yeah.
Let's move on to that one's on me. I'll kick it off with Carolina. Guys, I told you I didn't like the teams. I think San Francisco is just head and shoulders above everything about Carolina. Quarterback, skill, offensive line, defensive secondary, coaches, organization, top to bottom. The 49ers are just better than the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
I was just taking it. It was a desperation pick, not a desperation pick for me, but a desperation pick in that Baker and Matt Rule were fighting for their jobs.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely right about that because he got canned.
Yes, you were. And Baker's next. I mean, there's no excuse for him now. He will be next.
Well, he's gonna miss a few weeks, which is gonna be interesting because I don't know if Darnold's off the IR.
I don't think so.
So it'll be interesting. I don't even know who's still down there because I know Will Greer's in Dallas now.
I think they have PJ Walker. Maybe
PJ Walker's still down there with Matt Rule.
Maybe I don't know.
So yeah, it's. Let me take a look here because Carolina could be if it's not Pittsburgh for the number 1 pick, it's probably going to be Carolina.
I wouldn't. Hey, if I'm them, Will Anderson and Burns side by side doesn't sound like a bad mix either. So
I saw something today that was the owner of the Panthers saying something about we won't tank or anything like that.
Yeah, well, that guy's a jerk off.
It was PJ Walker. PJ Walker came in. Yeah, he went 5 for 6 for 60 yards. So. Maybe
did better than Baker.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's wrap this up or almost. You want to get to your fraud of the week?
God, that's amazing. You are so talented.
Huh?
Wait a second. Something's not right here. You were just making it look like you were playing. You're a phony. Hey, this guy's a great big phony.
Do you have a fraud of the week?
Yeah, actually, it's great because that one's on me and my fraud of the week are both the same. Absolutely. Because I did pretty decent. I didn't have a lot of plays. So I don't really have too much to say unless we're alluding to the Steelers, which I should go there with this pick. I'm not going to because I just don't want to keep beating a dead horse. They suck. They're terrible. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got to take the Bucs here. I know they went in. They get a win. Man, you got to cover that spread. I mean, you got to go make a point here. Your guys are healthy now. Your guys are all healthy. You got Fournette, Evans, Godwin. I know Julio didn't play, but that's not really like one of your guys anymore. Cade Otton had a really good showing out. I think he had 6 catches.
I picked him to score in my in that Dollar in a Dream I sent you.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really good outing. The defense is still in the top 5. How you're up 21-7 to the Atlanta Falcons with Marcus Mariota under Hellman. Don't get me wrong. This is a team I like, and they are now 5-0 against the spread, so I'll quit betting against them for starters. Tampa Bay has to figure it out. Like, hypothetically speaking, Trey, would you, because I would be a little shocked, but how surprised would you be if they come into Pittsburgh and they lose?
I'd be a little shocked.
I would too.
I would be.
Would you be shocked if the Steelers cover the spread, though?
8
flat right now. I don't know if I'd be surprised. And the Steelers stink. The Bucs just look like their offense sucks right now.
I can't. We don't know who's all going to play in the game because of injuries, and it's so early in the week to predict it. Let's just say all teams or both teams are healthy. What my prediction would be, even if Watson and everyone's fully healthy. Tampa Bay they win by 13.
Okay.
Would be my prediction. 13.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't think it's to have anything to do with injuries right now for Tampa Bay. Remember a little famous clip by Max Kellerman talking about Brady falling off a cliff?
Do you think that cliff is here?
That cliff's here.
You think?
46.2 QBR.
You think
the
cliff's? You think the cliff has a rose?
46.2 QBR.
Very interesting.
I understand he's got things going on at home and whatnot, and we thought he'd come out and be a little motivated by it. Marcus Mariota had a 59 QBR. Tom Brady 46.2. I think that cliff is here. I think I'm
not willing to go that far yet.
I'm not saying the Bucs can't do good things this year. I'm not saying that they're a dead dog loser anymore because of him, but that defense needs to play like the Cowboys are playing defense right now for them to win.
Yeah.
They have to play elite level defense for them to have a shot to win because their offense is not going to go out there and put up 40 points.
I agree.
It's not in the cards right now.
I don't know if I'm willing to say he's falling off the cliff yet, but I'll tell you what, he's getting close to it if he's not. Like if here's the cliff, his feet are right here and he's about to drop.
I think he's got 1 foot on the cliff and 1 foot off.
Man, that's relatively bold of you.
Moving on to our last segment, one big takeaway. I have one that's a little out there, and it's a slight one big takeaway. It's not a full blown drink the Kool-Aid takeaway.
Okay.
Geno Smith might be a franchise quarterback.
Very interesting.
And here's how I'll frame it about Geno Smith. If he plays as well as he has played these last 2 weeks for Seattle, they don't draft a quarterback. And for a couple reasons. One, they won't need one.
Yep.
And 2, they probably will be good enough where they don't need to, or they'll be outside the top 15 for drafting. So they won't really have a realistic shot at a top tier one. He has played so well these last 2 weeks. Did you see that deep ball he had to Lockett?
I did not.
There was probably about 5 people within a 10-foot radius, and he just dropped it right in the bucket.
No,
unbelievable. You have to look at it. It was one of the most. You talk about Hendon Hooker's throw on Saturday versus LSU. You got to watch that throw by Geno Smith. Unbelievable throw. 16 for 25, 268 and 3 touchdowns.
Numbers.
He looked. Let's see, 75 QBR. That's almost 30 points better than Tom Brady was.
Wait, Geno Smith is better than Russell Wilson was last year for them? Question mark?
Yes.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
He's doing a good job distributing the ball.
Yeah.
No one on the team had more than 8 targets. Their main guys were all over 3. He's doing a good job. He's kind of just playing with the offense. The thing I think is going to kill the freaking Seahawks this year is they just lost Rashad Penny.
Yes.
Who I understand. Kenneth Walker's great. He's great.
Going to be weird, dude. That kid's going to steal that job even if Penny could come back.
And we've seen it before, though, with young running backs. You don't want to run them into the ground.
I agree.
He was a high draft pick for them. I know he was in a first rounder, but you don't want to run those guys into the ground because we see what Zeke is now.
Well, look at Najee from just last year to this year.
You don't want to run those guys into the ground. So they're going to have to find. I don't know. Is DJ Dallas still there? Yeah, DJ Dallas is going to have to step up.
Yep.
Let's see. Do they have anyone? They didn't have anyone besides Dallas and Walker behind Penny getting snaps yesterday. So but they got to find maybe a third guy in there too, and maybe just take some weight off of Murray's shoulders for the rest of the year. But go ahead and hit us with your one big takeaway, and then we'll wrap things up.
My one big takeaway right now, the LA Rams are done. I'm serious.
Yeah.
No,
Cooper Kupp might win offensive MVP again, but they won't win. They won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it's a shame because he's the only guy they got.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Higbee puts up okay-ish numbers. This is more of a shot to what do they call McVay? Wonder Boy or whatever, isn't it? Yeah. Wonder Boy and his sidekick at quarterback, Stafford. Stafford looks terrible.
Might be another guy
terrible
with 1 foot off a cliff.
It could be. I mean, he got that Super Bowl. He's had some bad injuries through his career. It could be the cliff coming. I think the Rams are, I'm not going to say the worst team in their division, but I don't think they're a top 2 team. You could debate Arizona or Seattle to be better than them, and I wouldn't argue with you at all. I don't know if they make playoffs. I know the NFC looks relatively weak, but is it? You got what? The NFC East, you have 2 4-1 teams and a 5-0
team. Yeah.
So both of them right now are on pace to get wild card spots. I think they're terrible, dude. The Rams need to figure it out and figure it out very quickly because time's ticking.
One quick question for you before you wrap it up. Worst call, the Des Cauditt call or the Grady Jarrett, Tom Brady roughing the passer call on Sunday?
They're both very bad in their own way. I'll leave it with this. That was not roughing the passer.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a catch.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I've been persistent on that for upwards of 10 years. I feel like since it occurred.
Even as a Cowboys fan, I'll tell you, the roughing the passer call was worse. That was I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to tackle the quarterback. He didn't hit him high. He didn't hit him low, around the waist, and pulled him down.
Yep.
That's how you got to do it nowadays. Thank you guys for listening to the NFL Week 5 recap. We will be back with episode 13. We will get into some discussion, some debates, maybe some new segments. We got some ideas we're tossing around. Thank you guys for watching. We got to get out of here. Monday Night Football is coming on. Dog, got anything to say to the people?
Nope. Just thanks for watching. Follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Pack Boys Podcast. Thank you, guys.